Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. In this video, we are going to take some time to unbox some cool stuff that is shown up here at the house. I have a slab and I have a couple of really awesome modern books that I haven't looked at yet, but I am expecting them to be pretty awesome when I actually get my first look at them. And then I'm also going to talk about a book that I recently had an opportunity to read, but haven't discussed publicly yet. I actually want to take a few minutes to talk about that book. The first thing that I want to do is open up this bundle that has come in from My Comic Shop. And My Comic Shop is a shop that I like to buy from. They are based out of Texas. And when I cannot get books locally, I go to My Comic Shop, and I think they do a really good job with their new books and also with their old books as well, to be completely honest, in terms of how they grade, their pricing. Their selection is all really, really good. I found that they tend to undergrade older books, which means that you get a good price for them, and your book typically looks better than the grade and the price that they assign to it. So I always like that. An undergrader is a good thing. No one ever complains about an undergrade, but if you overgrade, that's where people have a problem. So again, I have not... I don't know what order these books are going to come out in, so we're going to try to glance at them and sort it out. I saw this book right here, and I had to have this one. This is a Jenny Friesen cover of Catwoman issue number 30. And again, I saw this thing online. I thought it was a very striking cover. I have not read the book, and I'm not sure if I'll read the book. This was a pure cover purchase because I just thought that cover was striking. So really cool book right there. Again, a Jenny Friesen. I think I picked up 2 copies. Yep, 2 copies of that. So there are those copies, and we'll set these off to the side. I'll be honest with you, I actually did not remember ordering some of this stuff until it showed up, and I looked at the packing, so I was like, oh, I guess I bought some stuff. This is a book that I did not get in my shop because I did not go to the shop on New Comic Book Day or the days immediately following New Comic Book Day, and could not get a copy of Dark Hawk, Heart of the Hawk. This is the variant. It is Dark Hawk's 30th, I think, anniversary. And Dark Hawk was around when I originally collected comics back in the 90s. So near and dear to my heart. I went back and reread the original series. It is not good at all. I have hope that this one is going to be a better read. So I only got 1 copy of that. I picked up this book right here, The Resistance Uprising. This is issue number 1 of 6. I believe that I read one of these already. I may have had the variant cover, so I do not recall this cover, but I think that I read this. And I want to say that this is not as good as the original run of Uprising. Of Resistance. So fingers crossed that it turns the corner and gets a little bit better. I did not necessarily enjoy it. And I think, yeah, this is the issue number 1. There's also a one-shot that possibly was even worse. This one was okay. The one-shot, I really struggled with that one. This is a book that has come out that I had a chance to read. I did pick up a couple of copies of this at the local shop, and I read it, and I enjoyed it. This is a solid comic. Geiger, issue number 1 from Image. I've seen some stuff about one of the creators online, like had some bad PR recently, but I'll be honest, the read was pretty solid. There was a little bit of sci-fi, a little bit of action, a little bit of, like, you know, tugging at the heartstrings kind of stuff. This one's good. If you haven't read it, treat yourself. I think that you will potentially enjoy this one. The last 2 books, oh man, that was going off the edge. Oh, I have one more here. Two more. This one is The Next Batman, The Second Son, issue number 1. Again, a book that I was not able to get locally in the comic shop, so I went ahead and picked this one up. Cool book. I actually read Future State, The Next Son, or The Second Son. Next Batman, that's what it was. Read that. I enjoyed that, so I'm looking forward to reading this one here. And then the last one that I picked up, I didn't know I had got this. This is the one that I read. This is The Resistance Uprising, issue number 1. So I think the other was actually the variant cover, which is probably why I did not recognize it. So there you go. Again, not the best read. Fingers crossed that it actually turns the corner. And this copy is much nicer than the one that I picked up from my local comic shop. I think potentially the reason why I bought it was because all the ones at the local shop were actually damaged. I'm actually now remembering that as I'm looking at that cover. So as I mentioned, there was a book that I picked up recently that I read, and I wanted to talk about it. And I want to talk about it because it is actually a bad idea book. And I've spoken about the bad idea books in other videos. This is a title that I picked up that I finally had a chance to read. It is Tankers, issue number 1. I will tell you that everything that I've seen come out from Bad Idea so far has been, in my opinion, receives the highest marks for like quality. The page quality is fantastic. The covers, the binding, I mean, it is all really well done. So shout out to Bad Idea. This book, Tankers, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it as a read. I will tell you that it is very predictable, in my opinion. If you are like a sci-fi kind of person, you can potentially predict what is going to happen in this book. And it is, some of the dialogue is a little like cliched. And again, if you like sci-fi, when you read it, you'll be like, oh, I've seen that. I've seen that in other movies. The art isn't necessarily something that I was blown away by, but I think it fits for the book. And I think that the cover is really solid. They do this spot, not embossing, but this treatment where certain parts of it are shiny. It's really well done. The cover, the quality of the book is really well done. The story, the dialogue, the interior art are all okay. And yeah, I'm going to continue to buy it because I am going to support everything that Bad Idea does. I'm literally going to buy 2 copies of every single thing that they put out. Because I do want to support them. And again, it wasn't terrible. It just wasn't great. So again, that's my little, 2-minute review of Tankers. So the very last book that I want to show you guys, as I mentioned, is a slab. And this is a book, I want to say I already have 2 copies of this book. I have 2 copies that are not really high grade, and I wanted a high grade copy of this book. I've been tracking it online for quite some time, and one finally popped up that had a price that actually made sense to me. And it is Invaders issue number 1. And I do not talk about the Invaders all that often, but I absolutely enjoy the Invaders. And I have just about every Invader series that has ever been out because I've read them all. I enjoyed them. I'm not the biggest Cap fan, but I like Cap within the context of the Invaders. I enjoy Submariner, the original Human Torch. I mean, Toro, I enjoy the Invaders. And so this is Invaders 1. It is a 9.6 with white pages, a Roy Thomas story, John Romita cover. I mean, continue from Giant Size Invaders number 1. Again, another book that I have in the collection, but I have raw, do not have a high grade. I will get one at one point. And I look at this book, and as I look at this book, I see all kinds of defects on this book. There is like a thumb bend at the top. This corner down here is just folds. You might not even be able to see it. It is actually folds it back inside the case. And there's other little defects here, which tells me that this book was not cleaned or pressed. The challenge is I don't think that it would ever get a 9.8 because there are like this color breaking crease over here now because of this corner that I don't think that cracking it would ever get it to a 9.8. So But I am very pleased with the purchase. I think it's an awesome book. What's interesting is that there is a Roy Thomas signed yellow label that is on eBay right now for a couple of bucks more than this one that is just calling my name. But I am not going to do it. I'm going to stop with like the 3 copies of this book that I have already. But really cool Invaders book. I absolutely love this title and those characters. So with that, I'm going to wrap this video up. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you did, I certainly want to encourage you to hit the thumbs up button and leave a comment behind. And if you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.